Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, I want to go over a few shooting problems that some people may have. A guy had asked me about this, my buddy Ethan, about shooting a hill style longbow. And first of all, I'm no expert at this any kind of bow. I do love shooting hill style longbows, and I've shot them for a long time, off and on. I'm talking about for a whole lot of years. But there's a lot of people out there that's more experienced and are gurus on it. But I'm a regular old Joe, and I've shot and I've had problems and issues, and I've worked my way through them. And so maybe some of this will help some of you guys. So I'm going to tell you some common, and this can go with most any kind of bow, but instinctive shooting, hill style longbows, problems and how to fix them, or how I do. Number one, it's got to be set up correctly, right? And I got a video on setting your bow up, putting strings on it and all that sort of thing. So it's got to be set up correctly. And one thing that I have found with wood arrows and these bows is my knock point is not as high as when I shot carbon. That probably sounds crazy, but I've ended up with a knock point of about a half or a shade less. And I can't explain why, but that works for me. And I was getting I camped the bow a little bit, and it was almost looking weak, which sometimes if you got your knock point too low, it'll show that. But it was almost looking weak, but it was actually deflecting off my shelf right there. So I come down with my knock point 1/8 of an inch or a shade more, and it lined right up. So a lot of your shooting problems that you think is you could be your setup, but play with your, it's okay to play with stuff. You can always put it back. Play with your brace height and all sort of things. All right, so number one, here we go. Shooting problems for me. I notice if I'm not shooting good sometimes, it's because of my grip. And I grip the bow the same every single time. But what I will do is find myself, you don't hold a hill style bow loose in your hand. If you shoot instinctive, split finger, you get a hold of it. That's what the man said in the movie. You get a hold of it, and what I would do, my bow arm would be a little noodly. It'd be weak, and the bow's loose in my hand, and it would torque itself in my hand. It's kind of crazy how to say that. But get a hold of it. It could be your grip. Your grip has to be consistent. If you shoot with an open grip, you got your bow tuned that way and it works for you. Your shooting gets off, well, maybe you do an opposite. Maybe you death gripping it. I don't know, but a consistent grip. And you have to be pushing forward. You can't let your bow be a noodle. Your bow arm be noodly. You got to push towards the target. And that fixed a lot of my shooting problems. And that's one thing that'll happen to you if you're shooting a lot. Say you're in a practice session and your shooting starts to go downhill, you're probably getting tired and you're not pushing that bow on. So number two, another thing that hurt is be inconsistent anchor. Like you would draw here, target panic, a guy shoots out in front, right? And has problems like that. As long as you're in hunting ranges, if you're pulling straight through, maybe you shoot in front of your face, but your hand has to come back in a consistent spot every time. I'm telling you, if you have target panic, how to make it work. But if you're a guy without target panic and you hitting good solid anchor, number one, you got to get there. You can't get there from up here like this and then down here like this. That last one, you come up and draw the bow, your hand gets here, it needs to come straight back into anchor, straight back. And that elbow, it's got to be pulling. That causes shooting problems as well. And one reason John Schultz, he mentions in his video to touch his finger, I noticed that I don't do that when I grab the bow. I don't have my finger caught, but as I'm coming back, my little finger tucks and my thumb gets it in motion of the shot. So that works for me. But what it does, it gives you consistent, and it keeps you from torquing the string, twisting the string like this. And especially if you're shooting a lower poundage bow or a recurve where the limbs will waddle on you, that makes a big difference in your shot and your arrow tuning and all. It's hot out here. I'm starting to sweat. It's about air conditioning time, folks. So that causes shooting problems. And then another thing that I've noticed that I do lately is shooting with my elbow too low. My elbow is too low. I'm not pulling in a straight line, and that takes away my back tension. If you raise your elbow like this, put your hand right here and raise your elbow. You'll feel your back engage. But if you do that and drop your elbow, you feel it limber up, it loosens up. You need good back tension to have a good release and to be consistent. I watched John Schultz's video. I would get it to him shooting, And you may hear me mention that man's name a lot, but he's like one of my heroes in archery. And for several reasons. Number one, he's a heck of a good shot. We love the same kind of bows, and he was a Baptist preacher. That's like, I wish he was my neighbor. But anyway, it's slow motion on his shots. If you'll pay attention, and you don't have to do it slow motion, you watch him shoot. When he comes to anchor area, it happens fast. You got to look. But when his hand gets here, his elbow will take a slight rise every time. And what he's doing is engaging his back. And I don't know if he meant to do that, but it does. And that could be one of the secrets to his success of being such a good shot. So your elbow position. Also, a lot of people, I used to do this when I first began, is I want to see where I hit, doggone it. So I would shoot and I would push my bow down like that. Out of habit, I'd push my bow down. You got to be in the habit of when you shoot. You watch Jeff Phillips, he'll shoot his shot, bring this hand down and be talking to the camera, and this other hand's still up. That's a good habit. And one way that I broke that for me is when I would shoot, and somebody told me to do this, I don't remember who, but I would shoot the bow at my spot, and then I would raise my hand up and cover up what I was trying to hit. So I made it a habit of when I shot, my hand stayed there and I covered up my spot. I built that habit. So I very, very, very seldom ever drop my arm. It just don't happen. And one thing that I started trying to do, and I don't do it every time, you know, when I'm focusing on practice, I do it every time. But when I'm focusing on the shot, sometimes it don't happen, but it's close enough I hit where I'm looking. But I always try to shoot and make some part of my hand, I don't know what it is, touch my ear right there. That way I know I come through with my shot. And what I'm really working on is my elbow, because I'm finding a lot of time my elbow is not up, and it causes bad air flight too. Like that. It's like it's not the same release on the air. So those are just a few of your shooting problems right there that you may have. And the only way to correct those is do like on the video I had in front of this one, is use the two forms of practice. Number one, focus on your form and don't worry about where you hit, and build a good consistent form. Then you put all your focus in what you want to hit. And if your form ain't exactly perfect, when you're focusing on what you want to hit out here, I guarantee you in the deer ranges we shoot, your shot's going to be pretty close. You're going to be deer killing close. So just a few tips I was throwing out there for you on things that I've done. And one of the biggest problems I had early on was being overbowed. I thought that, you know, these old hill bows are straight and slow compared to all them faster recurves and stuff like that. And I think the first store-bought bow that I had that I really was successful and hunted with, and I was too poor to have more than one, was a Jeffrey Royal Hunter recurve, built by Mr. Owen Jeffrey. And the only reason I had that, there's a store in town there, the guy somehow of a just freak of luck happened to know him. And so he had a brochure up there, and I ordered one, and I ordered too many pounds. But that joker was fast, and it shot hard. And I killed a lot of animals with that bow. But then when I got to these hill bows, I'm thinking, well, they're so slow, I may be able to get 5 more pounds. Big, big, big mistake. I didn't even take into consideration that with that Jeffrey, I was shooting through everything, no matter how big it was, shooting through shoulder blades, everything. So the hill bows that I got were too heavy to start with, which built terrible form and terrible habits. But I managed to kill with them anyway. But then I got my hands on one that was like nearly 10 pounds lighter than what I was shooting. And my accuracy, like, I'm thinking, man, this bow shoots really, really good. It didn't dawn on me, it ain't the bow, it's the bow weight. I had got a controllable weight, something that I wasn't fighting to shoot. And so when you're shooting your bow, it needs to be where your focus is on either you're practicing your form or you're worrying about what you're going to hit. You can't be struggling to fight a bow too heavy for you. It don't take one of the biggest bucks I ever killed, I killed with a bow that was pulling a little bit over 35 pounds with a Simmons broadhead, a big 10-point. And at the time, I didn't know, I thought my draw length was longer, and I thought I was shooting about 45 pounds, which, you know, but I probably wouldn't have took the 35-pounder hunting if I'd have knew that's what it was. But, I mean, I got some fine horns in there in the house, so I'll show them to you sometime. But this bow is about 48-ish pounds at my draw length. I was shooting nearly a 700 grain arrow. I've come down to about a 600, 620 grain arrow. 2-blade head or a Winslow Woodsman, I'm not worried at all about penetration. But those are some shooting problems that you run into. Number one, target panic, shooting in front of your face. You got to do the 3-second drills to beat that. Consistent grip, pushing forward, getting to not only a consistent anchor, but getting there consistent. Don't swing way out around your face. I've seen people do that. Try to come in as close to your face as you can when you hit anchor. A high elbow, you can see in that just last one, I had my hand high, my elbow was low. That ain't what you want to do. You want to hit anchor and that elbow needs to be up. And those will help solve some of your shooting problems. But whenever you're working on something, you're practicing for form, and you can actually hear a shot. You can tell when your shot is wrong from the sound of the bow. You'll get where you can do that. But you'll hear a little bit of racket maybe, and you didn't have back pressure. And the release is sluggish and the air is waddling out of the bow. That sounds crazy. If you're torquing the string real bad, it'll do that. The air will waddle out of the bow. So you got to come back tension, good smooth release. There y'all go. That's just trying to convey some of my shooting problems in case they're happening to you. Maybe you can help solve them. But always remember, you don't have to be an Olympic archer to take game with these longbows. All you got to do, at whatever distance that you can shoot that joker through the ribs, the first shot of the day, you're good enough to hunt that far back. So don't, I've seen people that say, man, I want to go hunting, but I ain't grouping good enough at 20 yards. Who gives a crap about grouping at 20 yards? If 10 yards is as close as you can shoot him through the ribs the first shot, go set you up, find you some hunting spots, some ambush spots where you can shoot one at 10 yards. And go hunting, but keep working on your shooting. I will thank y'all for watching my videos. And some people had asked about Miss Daisy. It's a black-mouthed cur, and she is completely spoiled. She stays in the house. Her and Miss Tammy are best buddies, and sit unless we come outside. And she will do like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. She's the best puppy in the world till she sees something alive, and then it's her job to kill it, she thinks. So that's Daisy Mae, my puppy, 4 years old, love her to death. Y'all keep the good Lord first. See you next time.